Today on CHGO Blackhawks, we are joined by Blackhawks President of Business Operations, Jaime Faulkner. We'll go over the promotional schedule and all the great events scheduled for the 2025-26 Centennial season. Coming up next on CHGO Blackhawks. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. I'm Jay Zawoski with Mario Tirabassi, and we are joined in studio by Jaime Faulkner. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
It's an exciting day in Blackhawks land. We've got the promotional schedule coming out, and as you can see, we are very excited about the bobblehead announcements and everything. But what really impressed was the Harvey Wittenberg, Jim Corneliuson announcement video.
Yeah.
How did that come along?
Well, we wanted to have a really cool way to announce the promos. I think we're trying to increase the quality of our content. We have an incredible team. And we have an actor in Harvey and Jim. And so they jumped at the opportunity to join. They were amazing in it. Obviously, Chelly agreed to be in it as well. And we're really, really proud of it. It seems to be doing really well so far. I did last night actually preview it with my son, who is 19, to see, because I think the Night of the Museum movie is not in his generation, so wanted to make sure that he could connect to the reference, and he got it. So I was like, okay, we're cool on the focus groups. It's going to be a great video.
See, to me, that's a new movie, but it came out probably 15, 20 years ago.
2006.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go.
Which was his birth year. So yeah.
So it would have been.
But they got it. So.
Well, I'm really glad.
Which, by the way, I did come with a gift.
Oh.
So I feel like that's the right thing to do when you.
Is it Harvey Wittenberg?
It's Harvey Wittenberg bobblehead.
Awesome. By the way, if the offer would have been extended, he would have joined. So unbox, do a little ungifting.
All right,
here.
let's see.
All right, unboxing.
Yeah.
Brought something for the studio.
All right.
In honor of our promotion.
Wrapped in bubble wrap. Looks like a bobblehead to me.
Don't spoil it. Oh, you want me to
Do the whole thing? I've handed it to Jay for those listening.
Oh, I already know by the beard.
Oh, yeah.
Brent Seabrook. That is
a
great.
Brent Seabrook bobblehead.
They look, I got to say, the faces look outstanding.
It does look a lot like them.
Do you have to do, like, player scans and those sort of things to get these things done this well?
Yeah, so that is actually one of the bobbleheads that we'll be giving away this season. So wanted to make sure you had that in the studio.
That looks great.
The amount of time that our graphic design team takes to get the face right. So we design it and then we send it over to be manufactured. But they do things like Chelly's smile is a little bit more crooked than that, so it needs to be moved here. I mean, it's that level of detail.
Yeah.
And honestly,
nice.
like we want to get it right for them as well.
Yeah.
So we're really excited.
That's
Spent
cool.
a lot of time on these bobbleheads.
Super high quality.
Looks great.
Yeah, it's got a good weight to it. That is really nice. It looks a lot like Seabrook. That's great.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
We'll add it to the collection.
Yeah, add it to the collection.
We got to demote somebody. Somebody's got to get demoted.
Who should we take off? Is it your Jocelyn
make
T-Bow?
room for a lot more
Absolutely
of them.
not.
That's
We just need a
what we're
bigger
doing tonight.
table. That's all. We're going to have to get a bigger table.
The bigger table.
No, it's cool. People are really excited about the bobbleheads coming back, and I really like the way that the season is being approached in the 4 chapters. Can you explain the inspiration behind that and what went into that decision?
Yeah, so we started planning Centennial about 3 years ago. And the first place we started was trying to figure out, well, what do we even want to celebrate? What stories do we have to tell? What do we think this is a great opportunity to bring all our alumni back together? What's important for them? What do our fans want to hear? So we listed out a bunch of questions. We also knew Detroit and New York at that time, we knew they were going to be celebrating in the same year. So how do we partner with them and do some cool things with them? As 2 other Original 6 clubs, how do we stand out? So we started with that. Most teams actually plan in chronological order. So they start from the very beginning of their club. Most of the focus is highlighted on the on-ice stuff. We obviously have incredible on-ice moments, but we have contributed to the game of hockey in incredible ways and to the city of Chicago. A lot of our fans don't even know that. And so we thought, can we take the opportunity to actually put things in themes and talk about the originality of this original six and the contributions that we made to the game through our players. And so that's how we talked about it. And then the other thing was we've got a really exciting future ahead of us. You're going to see a lot of our future on the ice this year. So we wanted to end the season looking forward and being excited. So we didn't want to just spend the whole year looking back. And then, of course, just to remind everybody, the celebration doesn't end at the end of the season. It will continue on through our actual 100th birthday. So we're sort of celebrating, in the year of the 100 with a big capstone fan event the following season and our 100th celebration of our 100th game.
I don't want to get too far ahead, but that fan event, and it's been something that I think a lot of people have kind of mentioned that they've missed, is the convention that team used to have. How will that kind of feel, that fan event at the beginning of what will be next season?
It'll have a lot of the elements of the convention that people loved. So access to players, panels with players, getting autographs, photos, experiences with them, getting to see a little bit of behind the scenes, getting first rights to new merch that we have. So all the elements that people love will be there. I think we also intend to add some fun and new things to it, so it's special as we begin to do these going forward. So it'll have the parts people love, but hopefully feel new and fresh and exciting, so it just doesn't feel like, oh, didn't we do this already, but just with a different set of players?
So with we obviously know the theme nights are coming, but throughout the year, the atrium has become such a great space to go pregame. Are there going to be things set up, like activation set up year-round for people that maybe don't have tickets to these special games? Will they have access to some of the Centennial things too?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So we obviously will culminate a chapter to a capstone event where you basically will have an experience that's similar to the type of production we put on for a jersey retirement. It's going to be at that level, like huge. We're going all out. They'll all feel different. But to your point, we have a lot of fans that will be coming to our games that are within that chapter. So we will be decking out the atrium with a bunch of experiences, from different panels to actually bringing artifacts back, so pop-up displays and exhibits and things that are from our history, so that you can come to any one of those games, and we'll have content throughout those games that actually tell the stories of that chapter, and then it'll culminate to the big event that we have at the end of the chapter series.
And what are you expecting in terms of alumni appearances for these big nights?
Alumni. Our team's done an incredible job connecting back with all of our alumni and then connecting them with each other. One of the things we've heard from them loud and clear is not only do they love to come back and be with the fans, but they actually love to come back and see each other, because so many of them are off having their own families or have planted their roots somewhere else. So just recognizing that the opportunity to bring them back, and when we do, give them time to be together as just players, and then give them time to be with our fans. Once we started to figure out what that would look like, getting them to come back was really, really easy, because it feels exciting for them in a lot of different ways. So we have a lot of fans, a lot of alumni coming back for opening night, and then we're bringing back a lot of those same alumni in their chapters where they will be celebrated or where their stories are going to be celebrated. So our fans will actually see them all throughout the year.
Jay, you mentioned how the atrium's been utilized. I think one thing that we had talked about before it was a reality that it was going to happen was the Hawks Hall of Fame, of having something physical that you could go to, and being at the atrium or the Fifth Third arena. Like how is that progressing, getting that put together, and two, like what can fans expect once that is completely open? Like what kind of experience would that be like to be able to go there?
Yeah, we're super excited about actually having a physical location where, again, not only our fans, but even our alumni can come back and bring their families to see themselves, right, as part of that storytelling. So the physical Hall of Fame will be located in our Centennial Hall, which will be in the expansion. It is the master main lobby to the arena that will be the rink to the right of it. And it's going to be... there are pieces that won't change because it's going to sort of tell the story of our history, but then there's components of that where we will flip the storytelling and the artifacts and sort of the digital content out to keep it fresh and new. we have a ton of people that'll be going through that building. So that's our phase one. We are working on how do we do the storytelling throughout the whole building, thinking about, because we have almost too much to put into one hall, to be honest. And so whether it's like looking at how uniforms have changed over time, how has our jersey changed over time, highlighting in detail and going deep on certain players and their history and contributions and their artifacts. I mean, we could do a whole hall with just Esposito's gear,
Yeah.
right? Like there's a lot of stuff that we've been accumulating over the last several years that we hadn't had. And so now we're trying to think through where are the other places in that building that we can curate and storytell. And then ultimately, do we create tours where fans can come through and we walk you through, very similar to what the Dodgers do and several other buildings, where we actually tell you the untold stories of that history and kind of can bring those things to life. So this is the first phase, and then we're going to start to build on from there.
So I'm glad you mentioned the Dodgers because I forgot about this. I went there years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago, and they do have kind of a historical element of the ballpark that you can just walk through on game day, and there's all sorts of, like, there's Vin Scully's microphone and his game notes, and here's Kirk Gibson's jersey, and it's just... It's very interactive, and it doesn't have to be, I have to plan a tour to do it. Now, they have those too, but I think access for fans is like, hey, you're coming from, like our listener Holly is coming in from the UK in November to see some Hawks games, and she'd be able to go over to Fifth Third at any time and visit those things and see those things without having it be in an official...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We want the history and the storytelling, the access to be 365, 24/7. Not only about our history, but also when you walk into that building, you should know what's happening today with the Blackhawks. Who are we playing this week? Where are we in the standings? Cool things that have happened. So it's really an opportunity to connect with our fans year round. And so we're being really thoughtful about how we do that.
So I know single game tickets go on sale in September, TBD on the exact date, right? I assume that this is a high-end demand season because of the Centennial, because of all the events. What would you recommend for fans who want to assure they're getting the games that they want to see, but maybe can't afford a whole 41-game package? What's the best way right now to go about reserving your spot?
Yeah, I think if we're being honest, there aren't too many families that have the time to go to all of our games. There certainly are people that do that or in companies that do that, right? So we knew we had to provide opportunities for people to come in and buy small groups of games. And so, but we want to reward them for that. We think that's just as important if you're going to come in and buy 5, 6, 7 games, that we give you some value for that. And so one of the things we started doing is effectively allowing people to come in and put deposits, which is securing your space in line, to come in before single game on sale. So before we go to the public, you get to come in and pick your games. You have to buy at least 5 games, but you can come in and pick the games that you want for the season. So you get in ahead of time to do that. You're going to get it in at a price lower than when it goes on sale to the public, and certainly what you would get on the secondary market as people start to buy and flip those tickets. But we have packages like you can buy the original 6 games. You can come buy all the Friday games, or you can choose the ones that work best for you. And I think there is a lot of demand. There's tons of buzz about Jonathan coming back.
Yeah.
So we already know those Winnipeg games are going to be in high demand. But the number of people that are in line, that have reserved their spot in line, I say in line, it's a digital line, to come in and buy, is way higher than the number of people we had in queue this time last year. So, I think if you want to come and celebrate, when you look at the promotion schedule, if there are nights you know that you want to come and can commit to, whether that's in the holidays, which is also a popular time for us, or any of these specific chapter games, it's probably worth it to go in and get them now if you can, versus waiting, because you may not get them. You may not get them in the location you want, and you may not get as many as you might need if you're bringing friends and family.
I just want to make sure I'm clear. I can go through, if I wanted to buy 5 games, and pick the exact 5 I want.
Yep, if they're still available by the time you come in.
Because in the past, there's been, like, you want these 2 premium games. I think the Cubs did this. Like, if you want the Cardinals and White Sox, you got to take the lesser teams that no one wants to see. But if you can just pick the 5 you want, that's a great deal. And you are kind of doing it lower fees because you're going straight through the team. So if you're looking to get them, that's the way to do it. Is there a link people need to follow? What's the best way to?
So they're not on sale yet because
Okay.
we still have people coming in to their digital line. So for the rest of this week, we'll be getting people online ready to go, and then they'll go on sale next week, and we'll drop the link. We'll make sure you have it so you can
Great.
share with your listeners.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. Talk about going into this season and the ticket sales and how people are getting excited for what's coming next for this Blackhawks group. We saw at the end of last season a couple of different ads, promotions that were highlighting some of the young guys. I know Lucas Reichel was in a few, Connor Bedard was in a few, Alex Vlasic's been in a few. He's kind of getting around with more, FaceTime being kind of like the promoted more by the team. How has that kind of been shifting, and how does the team kind of want to present a lot of those young guys that are going to kind of make up this next wave of Blackhawks?
Yeah, it's a great question because anytime we release something, people automatically assume, well, we're going to put Connor Bedard on it. Connor's amazing, but you need more than one player to actually be a successful hockey team. And we have tons of great talent. Obviously, you have Alex on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He is phenomenal. We have other great players that are in our system that you'll see in Chicago and with more coming. So we want to take the opportunity to get to showcase them and their personalities. They have incredible personalities. They're super funny. They're very engaging. And we want to honor them. And that's why we did the 3 pins this year. So when we did the 2 pins last year for Foligno and Connor, they were a hit. And now I even see them everywhere. I see them when I take my kid to school on backpacks. I see them on hats, on hockey bags. So we thought, well, everybody loves the pins. And also we used to do pins historically as well, not just bobbleheads. So sort of recalling back to the old days. And we're highlighting 3 new young players, right? So Frank, Alex, and Spencer. And we think those pins are going to be a hit again. So whether it's content, whether it's a giveaway, whether it's storytelling, and I think our fans want to know the players on our roster, not just one. And certainly Connor's going to be in a lot of those things. But yeah, I think we want to make sure that everybody knows the players on this roster.
Have you noticed I'm sure you see like jersey sales and engagement on socials. Have you seen, aside from Connor, a couple guys really kind of rise in the fans' eyes and who they've taken to?
Yeah, so our Centennial jersey's on, you can pre-buy it right now, which is going great. So, by the way, we only have a fixed inventory of those. So, when they're gone, they're gone. And right now, our top 3 are Connor, Frank, and Alex, right? Followed by Renzel. There's like the new guys are at the top, right? So,
I hope he plays in the
seeing
NHL this
demand.
year.
I think our fans are seeing, what we've been talking about for a long time and are excited. I also think it's kind of cool to, get the jersey in the centennial year of the rookie. So it'll be interesting to see what players get purchased this year. But if you say that fans vote with their wallet, they're starting to vote across the roster as well, which is great.
So in terms of the store in Madison game day or at a store in Michigan, would fans be able to walk in on a game day and find the Centennial jersey for pretty much the player of their choice, or is it going to be limited to like the premier guys? How's that going to work?
It'll be in the stores until we run out of them.
Okay.
Obviously the authentic pros are already lettered and numbered, and you still have options to customize on some of the others. But it is a very limited quantity. We've already outpaced what we thought we were going to sell on the pre-sale. So I even am going to go in, and I was going to wait and buy mine later for my kids, but I'm going to go in and make sure I have them now. So I would highly recommend people go in and grab them because, again, when they're gone, we don't have the ability to get any more.
All right, well, speaking of jerseys, I did notice that this Chris Chelios bobblehead is wearing a black jersey.
I said to the team, I know what's going to happen. Jay's going to notice that Shelly's in a black jersey, and he's going to ask me what question.
When's the black jersey coming back?
When's the black jersey coming? So we're going to bring the black jersey back eventually. We're focused on the Centennial jersey. Every year for the past couple of years, we've had a new jersey. So, we want to make sure we're not overloading our fans with jerseys to buy. So it is going to come back eventually. So I promise we're going to be bringing it back.
So when you go into designing the Centennial jersey, what kind of came down to keeping it pretty simple, really?
Yeah. First of all, you have to design these jerseys like a year and a half in advance. So you're way ahead. Everything's got to be done way ahead just for the retail schedule. And we had a lot of designs. Our team and in partnership with Fanatics came up with all sorts of options for us. We just always came back to like, why would we mess with this jersey?
I agree.
It is a classic. Why would we mess with this jersey? Can we really do anything better to celebrate 100 years? And the more people we talked to, it sort of was the consensus that we needed to keep it the same, up it a little bit, right, in celebratory wise. I feel like it was the right decision given how they're flying in pre-sales right now. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, I think they look fantastic. I love the addition of the outline on the numbers and on the logo. I'm always a sucker for the tassels on the jerseys, even though now the modern ones they don't actually tie the jersey at all.
We did add a couple things.
But yeah, I think they look great. Knowing that it's a fixed inventory, I think I'm gonna have to act a little faster myself.
I'm not
to
kidding.
If
you haven't ordered them, get
gotta
them,
be
or if you're
fast.
coming to our games, get them when you're there because we'll run out of them.
Okay, good to know.
Gotta get one of those for the to frame.
Sure.
In the office. I
Sure,
think.
why not?
Yeah, they look really great. And just on I know when we talked last year, there was a lot of concern about Fanatics from fans, but it seems like the jerseys look great. Has there been feedback from the players? Because I remember when was it the Adidas ones that came out that like were filling with water and they had to adjust remember that it was like the moisture wicking and the players didn't like them.
Yeah,
it seems like the Fanatics things have gone over pretty well.
I mean, I have to say our experience, they've been really awesome to work with. When we did our Winter Classic, we weren't so sure, but we got the design right, the texture, all the details. We had no complaints from our players whatsoever on them. Their process in designing these have been great, and they send us samples as we go. So we'll get a sample, we'll look at it, we're looking at threads, we're trying to rip it apart. Parchi, our equipment manager, is trying to rip everything apart, right? We're trying to give all the feedback we can so that the jersey looks great for our fans, but works well for our athletes. And we've had a great experience with them so far.
The Hall of Fame vote, how has that been going? I know we made our media votes. We talked about that the other day on the show. I know you can't reveal how it's going necessarily, but have there been any things that have surprised you so far in what you've seen?
So in the first 24 hours when we announced it, we had 5,000 votes in the first 24 hours. And people are still voting like crazy. So it exceeded our expectations in terms of the engagement, which is really awesome. The fans are voting very differently than the media.
Interesting.
I'll share. I know, right? Very interesting.
Okay.
So you think going in, you're like, oh, well, we think we know what the answer is going to be. But because we have so many fan votes and season ticket holder votes, and because sort of the group voting is coming out to be a little bit different, it's really going to be anybody's guess on who ends up getting elected in and inducted in. But we are hopeful closer to the start of the season, we'll announce everything related to Hall of Fame and when the celebration will be, which will be a fan event. We'll do it with our fans second half of the season.
So when that happens, would we expect, if they're available, that the players would be part of that Hall of Fame
1,000%
celebration?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I voted for Keith and Belfour, for the record.
Solid votes.
Yeah.
You're not going to share your vote?
Oh, I also voted for who did I vote for? Duncan Keith, and I believe it was Steve Larmer. So
That was Greg's vote, too.
yeah, I think it's a good vote. Speaking of Duncan Keith, I think one of the things that I thought would be a slam dunk for the Centennial season would be retiring his number. He's going to be going into the Hall of Fame and everything. What went into deciding to not only not have his number be retired this year, but just kind of like not having anything like that specifically this year?
Yeah, I think there were a couple things we thought about. First is let's let him get into the Hall of Fame. So he's getting inducted this year.
Sure.
He'll be celebrated on November 10th when that happens. And then, he's going to be back for the banner years with everybody else, where we're really excited. And I think they're excited to get to celebrate our most recent Cup wins. And if you know Duncan, you know that he is about the team. He is not about himself. And as much as we are excited to celebrate potentially retiring his jersey one day, the one thing I don't think he would ever let us do is do that in a way that it's taking away from some of what we're celebrating with the team. So I think also to honor him and be more authentic to who he is and the kind of teammate he was, letting us celebrate him at the beginning of the year with his induction into the Hall of Fame, celebrating what he cares about most, which is being a great teammate in his team in the banner years. And then you got to leave something to do after Centennial. Like, we can't put it all in Centennial.
Of course.
Sure.
Sure.
That's true.
So that's kind of how we were thinking about if we do this, when we do this, how we do this.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all know that it will happen someday. He deserves it. But I wonder, too, like, I wonder if he wants to be with a teammate. There's a guy he played alongside a lot that probably has an argument for having his number up there. So that's, that's down the road. I know. But this is the stuff we talk about. It's August.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's next to have their jersey retired? No, it's going to be, I think that even when you talk about when the Blackhawks do Military Appreciation Night or Pride Night or Native American Heritage Night, they're always home runs. And I think what you sort of alluded to is that these specific era nights will be even bigger than that. They'll just be massive.
They're going to be massive. I do think we have, if not one of the best game presentation teams in the country across all sports. They do an unbelievable job. They are challenging themselves on how to go bigger, but also we wanted to make it feel different. So we want the capstone event for the originals to feel different than the next generation or the next original ones versus the banner year. So they're really pushing themselves, and it is going to feel like a jersey retirement ceremony. It's going to be that level of show and experience and engagement. I think it's going to be awesome, but we're not going to then take the foot off the gas on all of our other theme nights. They're still trying to figure out how do we push the envelope, make those more special, more meaningful, because sometimes you only can come to 1 or 2 games a year. So
Right.
I want to make sure that the game you come to is just as incredible of an experience, and that you leave and you want to come back again to another game.
I did not see Best Day Ever on the event calendar. Is that going to be, held off for a year, or should we expect those next year too?
So there'll be a lot of kid-themed things in our next originals.
Okay.
Because obviously that's focused on the future, and some really cool things that we have planned. We have every year, you kind of have to plan your theme nights and your events around the schedule you're given. Both the schedule the NHL gives you, and then they layer in the TV schedule. We love having matinee games. For some reason this year, we actually don't have as many Sunday games. I think it's post when Super Bowl is, because we try not to compete with when the Bears are playing,
Good
so
thinking.
that Chicago fans can enjoy both games.
That also works out for my men's league schedule, so thank you. Appreciate
That was
it.
our
You're
main
welcome.
thought, I'm sure.
We were thinking about you.
I wrote it in the suggestion box.
Yeah. So we don't have as many matinee games as we would like. But when we have the opportunity to do that, we want to have as many as possible. So in light of that,
Yeah.
we're going to try to create as many family environment games as we can in that next original chapter.
All right, before we let you go, we do have a super chat from our friend Dead Hawk here, who says, Jamie, let's talk about cup holders, 2026 or 2027.
Well, I would like to get credit for the fact that in the arena that we're building at Fifth Third Arena, there are cup holders.
All right, see?
So there's cup holders there.
All right. I'll put my drink at the Fifth Third, and I'll watch the game at United.
Yeah. I know we've talked about this at length. If I could put cup holders at the United Center, we would. We would literally have to pull every seat out and probably re-tier the grade in order to do that because of how low the seats are in front of you. So
It's not that bad.
believe me, I wish we could do it.
What could that possibly
I
cost?
wish we could do
To
it.
just completely demolish every
Just-
level of the United Center?
Yeah, just shut down the United Center for a couple months.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah, it's
worry about
easy.
it. Yeah.
Because Dead Hawk wants his cup closer.
I
Yeah,
want my cup closer.
if you've been there, you'll realize the seats in front of you are very low, and your cup holder would basically be on the floor anyway, and then the person in front of you's hair would be in your glass.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
So
It'll at least be held in position.
you're drinking too slow.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
well.
what I say. Before I let you
Keep
go,
putting it in the suggestion box.
I will.
yeah,
I
keep
will.
doing it. Anything that we missed that you want to make sure people are aware of, or anything you want to reiterate before I let you
No,
go?
I think this is great. I honestly think get your jerseys if you want a jersey. If you want to be able to choose which there's specific games you want to go to, now's the time to go in, get your spot in line, your digital line, so you can go in and get them before. And I would say just get excited between not just games, but the content, every shift. We're working on our first episode of every shift that's going to come out. So all the great content our fans love is coming, but everything's just going to be upped a whole other level and notch.
Great. Well, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate your time. We wrote about it for allchgo.com, highlighting all the events. So check that out or go to blackhawks.com for all the info there. Jaime Faulkner, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, we'll be back in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. What is Sunnyside? Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer. I want to tell you about my favorite brand, Good News. They've got those counting sheep gummies. They help me sleep through the night. Don't even need a whole one. Half one of those, I sleep 8 hours, which never happened in my life. Get yourself some. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois MedCard holders. And if you're an existing user, use promo code CHGO50 for 50% off one Cresco Labs brand item.
And just like your favorite team needs a home ice advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage, and our friends at Empire Today can help you get that advantage because Empire Today has dedicated flooring experts, professionals who focus only on flooring every single day of their life. They have no other interests in life other than floors. We've all been to those big box stores. You wander the aisles endlessly. Somehow you're the one picking out all the materials, hauling them home. Then you realize you can't do it yourself and you need to look for an installer and coordinate everything. Not with Empire. They can bring the showroom directly to you so that you can pick the right flooring, the right materials, the right colors for your space. See how it looks with your furniture in your home. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are better at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 discount when using the promo code CHGO. That's right, $350 off with the code CHGO. Restrictions do apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details.
588-2300 Empire Today.
Empire.
Nice job.
Today.
All right, welcome back.
We're back.
Thanks to Jaime Faulkner and the Blackhawks for making that happen. That was great. I was excited about the Centennial year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's they have clearly put a ton of thought into it, a ton of time into it. And what did they say, about 3 years ago they started really planning this thing?
Yeah.
I think the first time we
3
talked,
years ahead, and I mean when you're trying to get all these things produced, get people to come in and do up the atrium and trying to find, okay, well, how we want to highlight this thing. Okay, how do we do that? What do we need? How do we want to execute? Like it takes a long time in the planning process and getting the jerseys right and all that stuff. Like it's fascinating how much truly goes into it. It's not the like, oh, they just slap something together. Like, no, like they and for any organization like the Blackhawks, when it comes to these types of events, when we say it all the time, like they always put on a really good show and presentation and everything. So I'm excited for it. This is a sturdy bobblehead of Brent Seabrook, so all the bobbleheads that they'll have this year will be really nice. I know it's been a couple of years since they've even given those away. So that'll be a lot of fun for fans coming in. And I think one thing that's important to note is those giveaways, it's first 8,000 fans. So it's not 10 or 15, 8. So you want to get there early on those bobblehead nights, get in the door, get yourself a Brent Seabrook, Duncan Keith, Makita. Who else am I forgetting?
Chelios,
Savard.
Yeah.
And
Esposito.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a Tommy Hawk one.
Makita, Esposito, Savard, Tommy Hawk, Keith, Seabrook, Chelios.
Yeah. Good ones.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. And this one looks really good.
It does.
I don't know if this is the prototype will not look as good as this, but this looks like the genuine article.
She said that's what it'll be. So
very cool.
It's good.
High quality.
I like the ones with the. I think most of them are like that, but I like the stick. Move it around. I don't know.
Yeah, we mentioned Holly in the interview. Holly said, "I need a 4-game package. Buy your 5th, sell it, and you're going to make probably 2 games back."
Sure, that's true.
That's how you do it, right there.
Do it.
Pick a really high in demand 5th game, and then boom. See, we're thinking for you, Holly. That's how we do it. People still on the cup holders. Next time you're at the United Center,
It's our bit.
notice the chairs. Someone said, I think it was Tim said in the chat, like Wrigley has cup holders. Why not the United Center? Because the chairs in front of you at Wrigley are higher. There's more space to do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna beat that dead horse.
I just don't know how you can create like they're not
until the cup holders.
They're not
appear.
adding cup holders just to spite you. I think
they are.
there's probably a reason.
I think
they have probably analyzed the situation and said we do not have room to put cup holders here, so we're not going to.
Nah.
Someone said on the armrest, but then you're walking through a very narrow aisle that's already very narrow. So
If there's a will, there's a way.
I guess.
Unfortunately, there is no will.
Hold your drinks. Being weird.
Jay and Mario
yeah.
bobblehead would have been hilarious. It also would have been.
I would have been offended.
That also would have just been, you could just give me the money instead of using it to get a bobblehead.
And Pip Hastings wants a new stadium instead.
Okay.
Yeah. Noted dump United Center.
Yeah.
Actually,
they're gonna go through the 1901 project for a 15-year renovation and then
build
demolish the United Center.
Yeah.
That's what'll happen.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm excited about the events. The thing I forgot to ask was, on those big theme nights, should fans plan to get there like an hour early? Like, is it gonna, because those jersey retirements were significantly before the games.
Yeah. They would do the
5
ceremony
or whatever.
and then it would be like, okay, now it's warm-ups and all that stuff. Like, they didn't want to. There have been teams that have done like, okay, they're gonna do, the warm-up skate, and now we're gonna do the presentation, and then Patrick Marleau talks for 2 hours, and then you finally get to the game, and it just completely disrupts the flow of everything. But no, it's though I'm sure like once those. When you get closer to those days, they'll say, like, here's the schedule of events. But it's always better to be there earlier than treating it as if it's a normal game where if it's a 7 o'clock puck drop, don't show up at 6 o'clock and expect to, not miss anything. So,
yeah, I'm excited about it. They always knock it out of the park. And I just, again, the theme nights they do every year, like Native American Heritage Night is such a cool event to be at. Mm-hmm. And they kind of do it throughout the month, but when they especially have that night, they have a traditional dance happening in the atrium and music and Native American vendors selling food and selling other items. It's just an awesome way to acknowledge, like, hey, this is where this team was named for Blackhawk. This is who he was. This is who is represented here. And by giving the natives a voice and a space at the United Center is important, especially for an organization that is clearly not running away from their logo anytime soon. But to kind of, I don't want to say put your money where your mouth is, but give those people a place to be and a place to show what they're all about at a Hawks game and at the United Center is important. So don't miss that one. But again, allchgo.com, we've got all the events laid out. I'm just curious to see, like, what excites me is, oh my God, they brought back this guy. I haven't seen or heard from him in 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, is Alexei Zhamnov going to be there?
Maybe. Maybe.
Like,
Isn't he still coaching in Russia?
Yeah, just probably smoking while he's just standing there, smoking a cigarette. Like, I'm really curious to see how many people are going to show for these big events and alumni, and some of the blasts from the past that maybe you're not expecting. Because I think we all know, like, you're going to see Keith and Hossa will be there, and the usual suspects will be there. But I know for a fact they're digging from a deep archive of Hawks alumni. If they've got their contact information, they have been reached out to. So they are doing their best to get in contact with everyone they have the ability to get in contact with and invite them to these things.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's been a thirst for that, especially, with the way that the team has been the last few years. I think a lot of people want to say, like, well, if you're not going to provide me with good feelings with wins and everything in the standings, at least let me see, some of these older players and alumni come back and be honored, and, maybe people from their, past as fans and everything be able to have that. So, yeah, I mean, to know that it was kind of like an open invitation of, we want these alumni to come back, be honored. Could be anybody from guys that are Hall of Famers and legends to players that might have been here for just a season or two, but
Anton
still
Hudobin.
but still can be I can't wait for his bobblehead night with a mug of beer.
It'll
and a
literally
wing.
have a red electrical tape on it, like he did for his pads.
just get a Dallas Stars bobblehead and
right.
just paint it red.
Brian,
It'll be really fun to see who they have come back, and some guys too that, like, you know, especially from that like 90s 2000s era that we talk about a lot with, like, not getting a lot of a lot of love, and of course it was a rough time before the reascension of the organization with the modern era, but like maybe a guy like Kyle Calder comes around or Tyler Arnerson comes around, and like some of those players get some flowers from Hawks fans, and be able to kind of say, like, hey, like, they were around, and I know that it wasn't great, but it's still all part of the history and players that you grew up watching.
I don't know if you can have Tyler Arneson and Brian Sutter, or you have to keep them very, very far apart.
Sure.
In terms of the ends of the honoring lectern, whatever you want to call it. But they're like, you're right though. There's so many guys that have just been forgotten in that era. You mentioned Jocelyn Thibault, our little spiky-haired bobblehead over here. It's an all-star goalie for a team that was ass, and he kept them in a ton of games. And it's a guy who most Hawks fans now, like, maybe if they've even heard of him, they don't really know who he was or what he meant to the organization.
Right.
And his story is fascinating, where he's the guy that was traded from Colorado to Montreal for Patrick Waugh. Like, you think Alex Yamnov had it hard? Jocelyn Thibault in Montreal had it really difficult. And then he comes here and is great. These are like the kind of stories that I want to have told. And I know if you've got 50 alumni coming back, you can't tell all their stories. But I hope they use this season as an opportunity to say, here's, like, we all know about Kane and Taves and Sharp and Hossa and Keith and Seabrook and Hull and Makita and Roenick and Chelios and Belfour. Not taking anything away from those guys, but some of these more peripheral guys, like Brian mentioned in the chat, Bernie Nichols.
Yeah.
Bernie Nichols is a forgotten name in Chicago for a lot of people, and he had incredible seasons as a Blackhawk. Not great interviews on this show.
No,
because he was in his car.
Yeah.
Not great Wi-Fi in his car. But he had a, let's see, 2 seasons with the Hawks. He was just an outstanding player for his entire career. 51 points in 48 games, and then 60 in 59 games for the Hawks in the 2 years he was here. But that's a guy who had a 150-point year in LA. Just a tremendous player.
And one of those guys that has like a Hall of Fame resume, and just as he's not one of the most notable players, but give him, it's an opportunity to, like I said, like give those guys a little bit of the honor and the recognition that they, the modern era has probably overshadowed a lot of that, because like you said, like, winning cups and those teams got everybody back into the Hawks that may have been lost out over those years beforehand, or just brought them into hockey completely fresh, brand new, have no idea of like the more deep rooted history of the organization. So I'm excited to see how this season pans out from all these events, these theme nights, generation nights, all that stuff. Of course, for me personally, January 17th, the night that they have the Modern Cup Run honor night, where it's going to be Keith and Seabrook and Hossa and Hjalmarsson all in the building, and Patrick Sharp be there. It's going to be like when they had Hossa's retirement night. It's just like that is that era that's going to be honored, and that, obviously for me, that was the most fun I've ever had as a Blackhawks fan.
Other than the promotions games, you obviously have Jonathan Taves' return. And as Jamie said, if you want to get to that game, you're going to have to probably jump on a package if you want to do that. But that is the game on Monday the 19th, and that is the day after or 2 days after the Banner era.
That's so the 17th is that Banner era.
So yeah, it's a Saturday
celebration night, and then the next game is the 19th, and that's the Jonathan Taves' first game back at the UC.
So I think there's probably why didn't they just have the Banner night on that night? It's a Monday. you want to have these premium events on weekends, but man, it would have been cool to have Taves there.
It would.
But maybe he would ruin a photo for a generation like Chris Chelios did for the 75th anniversary team. Chelios wearing a Red Wings jersey.
Yeah.
A Jets jersey is not quite as offensive in Blackhawks lore, so I would accept Jonathan Taves in a Jets jersey to ruin the photo.
That's funny.
But yeah, I just think you want to have these premium events on weekends where people can go. Alumni can come to town to be part of it. Like, you can't ask a lot of these guys, like, hey, can you be here on a Monday?
Yeah.
It's tougher during the school year, all those sort of things. So.
You're also doing that night against another Original Six team in the Bruins for the 17th game. So
yeah. All right, we're going to hit the break zone one more time. We have not asked you to hit the like button yet, but a lot of you have done it already. Well, let's hit it some more. If you've not hit the like button, please do so. Let's try to get over 100 likes for the show, and we'll be back in 2 minutes with our final break here on CHGO Blackhawks. Finances can be messy. They can be confusing. They can be frustrating. Monarch Money acts like your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control so you can stop earning and start growing. It's more than your average budgeting app. Monarch Money is a complete financial command center for all your accounts, investments, and goals. Don't just manage your money. Start building wealth with 50% off your first year for our listeners. Their finance tool is loved by over 1 million households, and it was named Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. Get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use our code CHGO at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with our exclusive code CHGO. Again, monarchmoney.com. Use that code CHGO for 50% off your first year.
And if you're looking to buy, sell, trade, or rip open packs of cards, check out our friends at Arena Club. They're changing the hobby with their transparent slab packs and no-fee auctions. Arena Club makes it easy to collect the cards you love. You can get authentic, graded cards instantly on Arena Club, and then you decide what to do with them. You can hold on to them, sell them, or have the card shipped directly to you. Or you can take an instant cash offer based on market value. They offer full transparency at Arena Club. They show you every card that's available in the pack with the likelihood of pulling each one so you know exactly what you're buying before you do it. And from your digital showroom, you can trade, sell, put up for auction, or retrieve the physical card from Arena Club. The packs may be digital, but the cards are real. Right now, you can get 20% off of your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/CHGO and using the code CHGO for your card hobbies.
All right, we've got one segment to go, so we're going to knock out some of the mailbag questions that were left over from Mailbag Monday. Tomorrow, we have Chris Peters coming on the show to talk about the World Junior Summer Showcase and where the Blackhawks prospects stand. So don't miss that. And we might have a little surprise guest on Friday. So it's not Duncan Keith. It's no one of that level, but we're still working out the details. But a guesty week here on CHGO Blackhawks. Let's begin the mailbag portion with Alex A. Swiss. He says, I was listening to the latest episode of 32 Thoughts, and I was very impressed by the interview with Spencer Stasny. Regarding Kevin Korchinski, are the fans and media hard on him? Thinking about what he went through in his rookie season, losing his father and all, I'm impressed how well he endured all this. I would not have had the mental stability for that.
I mean, definitely have to, when you talk about how his rookie year went, that is part of it. It's so much change for him at, 18, 19 years old. And being, full-time in the NHL, and then you go through that, personal life, tragedy and so sudden, and then to come back and it's just, it's a ton to deal with. And, I wouldn't say that, people are overtly hard on him.
I don't think so.
I just think that it is, as we kind of talked about it on yesterday's show, like when you look, I think the biggest thing is when you look at, are we being hard on him by saying, oh, well, he's a trade piece? Like, it does kind of make sense if you go into that conversation of who's going to get you the most return, but also feels like someone that could be replaced with the depth of the organization that they have right now with young
Right.
players. So I wouldn't say that people are necessarily hard on him. What he went through that rookie year is a lot of change, a lot of challenge. Last season, he did go through a lot of growth and seemed to be a better version of himself as a player than he was even in his rookie year. It just kind of shaped out that he played more in Rockford than he did in Chicago.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's really hard on him. Like you said, Mario, the reason is we talk about him in trades is because he's got value.
Right.
And he's probably the one that they can't afford to move the most and not feel like, ugh, that was a really tough pill to swallow. I think Kevin Korchinski is going to be a really good NHL player. It just remains to be seen if it's here or not. All right, let's grab another one here, Joey, before we wrap things up. We probably get 2 or 3 more in here. So,
I know we had a good one from Sprout here. Speaking of having Chris Peters on tomorrow, question from Sprout was, which, if any, Hawks prospects make their country's World Junior Championships team this year? We saw Marek Vanacker and Sasha Boisvert with Team Canada at the World Junior Summer Showcase. Both of them had pretty good showings at that camp. This past week, AJ Spellacy was with Team USA at the World Junior Summer Showcase. Anton Frondell was going to be there with Sweden, but then opted not to. Just today, I believe Scott Wheeler put out his early predictions for some of those teams at the World Juniors. Vanacker seems like it's a long shot. I think Team Canada is a tough team to crack. A lot of the guys that they're gonna have, that they're gonna bring in, are just at a level higher than he is. But the showing he had was pretty good at the showcase, so that was a good thing. Same thing with Sasha Boisvert. I think he's on the outside looking in, but the play that he had at the showcase was great. He was used on the top line a number of times for Team Canada. I think the best thing that he can have for him to try and make the team and make a bigger impact is coming out of the gate hot at Boston University this year. Going to be a lot of eyes on him. Spellacy seems like he's going to make Team USA.
it does, yeah.
I think
He feels like the most likely of all of them.
yeah, Scott Wheeler had him on the team, 4th line role. Stephen Ellis also did a Team USA early predictions, had Spellacy on the team. So I think he's going to make the team, play that depth role. Frondell's a lock for Sweden. He's going to play on their top line. The other one, don't forget about with Czechia, is Vaclav Nestrasil.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be on that team as well. So there'll be a number of players there with some good chances to bring home some hardware.
All right, next. Alberto, what's your power play 1 unit opening night?
Well,
That's a good question.
Bedard.
I'm going to do Bedard and Renzel on the points.
Okay.
I want, just doing this top of my head. I think I want Nazar at center. I want Bertuzzi out there to get in front of the net. Now Tavo is a distributor.
Okay. So you got...
So Nazar, Bertuzzi, Tavo as the forwards, Bedard and Renzel as the point men.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I don't hate that. I think for me, I'd go Bertuzzi, net front. I would have Connor and Frank on the wings. I'd put Donato down the middle, and then I think I'm also going to go with Renzel up at the top. I mean, that makes sense to me on paper, but also when I think about it, I'm like, are we putting a rookie defenseman as your top power play unit, and you're going to play him 20 minutes a night on the top line? With Renzel, like, I know he did it coming into at the end of last season, in a small sample size. But we'll see. We'll see how he looks in camp. We'll see how he's utilized. And I'm excited for him, but there is still a piece of me that's just like, okay, are we just penciling him in there because we're excited, or because it's actually going to be the way that Jeff Blashill wants to deploy him?
Well, see, that's a question too, because I think, Sorensen at the end was kind of like, let's just play these kids, see what happens, and maybe they look great, and then they decide to keep me full time. Who knows what the motivations were? I'm sure he had conversations with Kyle Davidson about playing time and stuff like that too. But from what I can tell, and again, Blashill's a wild card here, I don't think they have any fear about Renzel. I think they feel like he is a set and forget. Put him in there. He's going to be fine. Yeah, he'll have some learning experiences, but I think they feel like he's NHL ready, and they don't really need to coddle him into a spot.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I think he's definitely going to get power play time. Whether it's power play 1 or 2 remains to be seen. I just don't know. I mean, I guess you could start it with Vlasic. He's done it before. He knows how to do it. But I'm kind of the mindset of now that you've got Rinzel, potentially Levshinov, potentially Korchinski,
Right.
let Vlasic worry about your toughest matchups 5-on-5, get him on the penalty kill. Yeah, his numbers might hurt, but he's locked up long term, so I don't think he's terribly worried about that. I think he's just happy to be the dude he is with a little more offensive upside, but I don't know. I think they're pretty comfortable putting Rinzel into higher leverage situations right away.
Good point brought up by BJD's asking the question, didn't Blashill use Seider heavy? Moritz Seider's rookie season played all 82 games. He has not missed a game in his NHL career. Congrats to you, Moritz Seider.
Good job.
82 games, 50 points. He won the Calder Trophy for that 21-22 rookie season. 23 minutes and 2 seconds average ice time per night. So, yeah, heavily used.
Throw him in there.
As a 20-year-old. Now, Seider was coming over from Europe where he had played, professionally before and, had a little bit of run-up time. But, I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, if Rinzel can step in and handle it, we'll see how he looks through camp in the preseason. I know adding some weight to his frame was part of it, and that's going to be an important part of being able to handle a lot of those minutes and the physicality and everything of being in the NHL for a full season. But if he can handle it, then by all means, let him play 20+ minutes a night. I'm all for that.
All right, let's do one more quick one before we wrap up here. Fake Winterlander says, what do you think the fan reaction will be when Florida comes to town and Seth Jones's name is announced? I think there will be loud boos.
A lot of boos.
I have no question about it.
Yeah.
And it might be one of those every time he touches the puck situations, too.
I don't think it'll be that bad. I think there are a section of the fan base that hated Seth Jones that are just kind of now beyond it because he's gone and got what he wished and won a cup, and wonderful for him. They're just glad that they can move on from it. And yeah, there are still some that are just gonna hate him no matter what. But yeah, he's gonna get booed. That's my prediction. I don't think there's any reason to think anyone will cheer him. And again, it's just, I've said enough about Seth Jones in my life.
Yeah, I'm good. Last one. Kyle Whiz says, can Tavo be an alternate captain?
He could be. Yeah, sure. Why not? I think the leadership group, you got Foligno as a captain and you got Murphy as an alternate.
Dickinson
while
maybe.
He's here. Maybe Dickinson. We've had the conversations about, does Bedard or Vlasic get, a letter in that leadership group as they start to kind of transition over to, okay, now you guys are leading the group. Tavo's in that conversation too. Why not?
I'm making sure Vlasic gets a letter this year.
I'm
prioritizing that.
Did you write it in the suggestion box?
No, I'll have to do it first
should.
day of camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And Windy City says, I can see the Hawks doing a video package welcoming Jones back. I would imagine they will do that, or at least show him on the scoreboard with a welcome back Seth Jones graphic. And but they probably want to feel it out. They might have it ready to go, but if he hits the ice for warm-ups in his boot and he's touching the puck in his boot, they might decide not to do that to Seth Jones.
Okay,
with a welcome back video.
1, 2, 3, 3.5 seasons here. Played in the All-Star game once. Is it video package worthy? I think is the juice worth the squeeze to do a video package welcoming Seth Jones back, very likely knowing it's not going to be a warm reception?
Well, he wore a letter here. That's what you got to figure out is what's the reception going to be. I will tell you now.
I think what the reception.
It will be negative.
Yeah, I don't think they need. They could still do one. Sure. I don't know if Seth Jones will remember his time in Chicago fondly. I think he cares more that he's now a Stanley Cup champion with the Panthers, and leave it at that.
Yep. All right, we're going to wrap things up. We will talk to everybody tomorrow.
Oh, Wendy said he can't see the Blackhawks doing a video package.
Oh,
Okay.
fair
Sure,
enough.
sure.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Cannot see it. I understand that. Either way, we'll find out. But we're back tomorrow at 2. We will have Chris Peters on the show, so don't miss that. We love having him on. Always great stuff, and it won't just be about the World Juniors. Prospect talk, everything with Chris Peters. He's a great guest. And make sure you are reading all the stuff we have out. We put the promotional schedule info at allchgo.com today. That's on our timelines on social media at CHGO_Blackhawks, so check those out too. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here at 2 p.m. on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.